What's going on, guys? This is Gene Jensen. And since I can't catch a cold today, I can't even catch the dumbest fish in this lake, we are going to talk about my camera setup. Stay tuned. I have been filming myself fishing for about 20 years. 20 years, sorry, for about 12 years. And I started out with the GoPro Hero 2, and I have, over the years, bought the wrong cameras, bought some good cameras, worn some out, bought good mics, bad mics. I've made all the mistakes and spent a ton of money. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to go through my equipment. I want to go through the mics and everything, the stands, tell you guys the brands, the models, everything. None of this is sponsorship stuff. Nobody sponsors me for any of my filming stuff. So I do get the YOLO Tech stuff, but we'll just discuss that in a minute. But yeah, let's jump right into it. All right, so first things first is my main camera, this sucker right here. Let's go through that, and then I'm gonna take it off and use it to film the rest of this video. So my main camera, first of all, the camera stand is a YOLO Tech Power Stick. It's the Generation 2. It's a little bit stiffer than a Generation 1, so you don't get as much shake. It's just more sturdy. You can go a lot faster with it on, but that's beside the point. All right, so this right here, this camera is my main filming camera. This is the Sony, and I never can remember the numbers, FDR, get that down there, FDR X3000 is what I use for my main filming camera. I used Hero 5s for years, and they're great. Hero 7s I'm sure are good too, but I've settled on this because in post I don't have to do any color correction. It's got a setting on there that is absolutely amazing and allows you to really get some good vivid video. Okay, the way this is set up is the power stick is plugged into the light receptacle where I keep my nav lights. Then I turn my nav lights on, so I run power to this pole. I've got this little charging cord right here, plugs into the back of the camera, and I've got infinite power. I mean, I can run this sucker all day long. Then the next thing is my Rode wireless Go mic, and I'll get into that here in just a second, but it plugs into the back, and I love this camera because it does have a mic jack built in. I don't like, after using Hero 5s and that stupid GoPro dongle for a number of years, I got sick and tired of the problems I was having with that. So I went with found this camera, and it has a plug for the mic in the back of the camera. Before I go any further, let me talk about relationships and sponsorships in this video. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. Most of this stuff I bought myself. My camera stands, my YOLO Tech camera stands, I did not. Years ago when YOLO Tech showed up at ICAST, they were making these new little camera mounts for GoPros, and I was like, dude, that stuff is what I do. You know, I film myself fishing with GoPros, and I've been using PVC pipe stands and stuff like that. So I walked up to the owner and I introduced myself, told him what I did, and I said, look, I don't want any money. I just want to help you develop these products and help you test them. And the only thing I ask in return is I don't ever want to have to worry about making a camera stand for my boat ever again. So that's my relationship with YOLO Tech. And it's been a great relationship. The owner's a genius, and it's fun watching all the new little things that he's come out with. So that's why I use a lot of their camera stands. So to go a little bit further, the camera that I have in my hand, let me get everything set up. I'm gonna switch over to my main camera, and then we'll film the rest of this. So the camera I have been using is this one right here. This is a DJI Osmos Pocket. It's a gimbal. It's a 3-axis gimbal. Really a nice camera, and it's a good for a lot of B-roll and a lot of fancy shots, things like that. We won't get too much into that. All right, so these are the main things that I keep in this little bitty box. And my box is about to get bigger because I've got tripods and stuff. But this is what I've been using for years, just a small little box. I keep a number of cameras in it, and microphones and things like that. But I want to go over, actually I want to go over this mic right here real quick. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is the Rode Wireless Go, and I have been making more and more mistakes and spending way more money than I should on microphones for my own needs. This is an outstanding microphone for 200 and some odd bucks. It only accepts one microphone. It's, you know, the thing that I don't like about it is that it's a little bit peaked out on the audio. I've got it, if you can see kind of down in the lower left-hand corner, I've got my audio turned all the way down on this, and yet I still have to drop it about 8 to 10 decibels when I do post-production. But if that's the worst thing that happens, and it always works, and I always can see what's going on, and it lasts, the batteries last for, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours, then that's just fine. So that's a really good microphone. Right here, I've got some extra mics. I've got another Rode microphone. That's the one that's got the dead cat on it. Head mount, a clamp, some, these are my SD cards. This thing is slap full of SD cards, or usually is. Never can have too many of them. Now, this is a Hero 3. This is my backup camera for the back of my boat. This is a Hero 5. I interchanged this one with the one in the back of the boat now. It works just great. I run power to it. I'll show you how I do that in just a second. There's that stupid GoPro dongle. I hope they'll never make them. I hope they never make them again. Absolute $50 worth of junk right there. The Osmos Action. I bought 2 of them when they first came out. I rarely use them only because they don't have looping. And what looping is I use it with every single camera. It makes it to where you can set the camera up, turn it on, hit record, and it will record forever until it runs out of batteries. But what happens is I have it set up for 5-minute intervals. And so it'll record 1-minute clips for 5 minutes. And as soon as I hit record, it saves the last 5 minutes. So say for instance, I have it running for an hour, 2 hours. I catch a fish, I finish with the fish and everything else, and I go and I just hit stop. And when I hit stop, it saves the last 5 minutes in 1-minute clips. Or you can set it for 20-minute intervals, and it'll save the last 20 minutes in 4-minute clips. And so it helps you to save your SD card, and it helps you to be able to forget about the camera until you need to stop it, and it needs to save the last few minutes. And so Osmos Action cameras don't have that. I don't know why they missed it, why they didn't do it. I hope they have it in a software update in the future. But until then, those are going to sit right there and do absolutely nothing. I love them. They got great great stability, great picture, great everything else. I can't use them. They're useless to me if I can't just set them up and forget them. I can't go through SD card after SD card trying to run those things, and then the files will get huge and so on and so forth. So to keep keep my time management right, I have to keep my files down small because it can take forever to upload a multi-gig file onto your computer. But anyway, so what else do I have? These are pretty cool. These are just, Yellowtech sells these, but you can also get them on Amazon and stuff like that. They're just little short, 4 charging cords, or 4 different charging cords. You can charge your cell phone. It's got a micro USB, a mini USB, and then whatever that round one is, I never can remember. But I use all of them. They're pretty good, and they really come in handy. On my different tripods, I've got the old Joby. You guys see this with all the vloggers and stuff like that. I use that a lot around here. I've started using this little small one though. This is a lightweight plastic cheap one. I've got a little remote control for my camera if I'm shooting B-roll with for my phone. If I'm shooting B-roll with my phone or trying to get good pictures and stuff like that, I like to use this one. I also have a cheap little Manfrotto. Whoops, that's upside down. Manfrotto tripod. They're ultralight. I think it ran me like $50, $40 or $50, and it is amazing. It's not super tall. It's not one of those you're going to use as a production tripod, but to get B-roll from around the boat, that one works just fine. Now the back of the boat. In the back of the boat, I have the Yellowtech Boom, and this is like the 3rd generation. It's really, really lightweight. It comes up and down a lot easier than the other ones did. It's got a ball mount up front. I've got a Hero 5 sitting right here, and like I said, I've got it in looping, so when I catch a fish, I just hit stop, and it's saving the last 5 minutes. and I hit start again, and now it's recording. And that's all it is. I run the power through a long power cord all the way down to a power box. And guys, I absolutely love these things. This one was not cheap. It cost me a pretty penny. The box is made by Bold North Outdoors. The battery itself is a 16 amp hour, and it's stuck down in there for a reason. Hold on. The battery is a 16 amp hour lithium battery, and it keeps phones charged, it keeps cameras going. I use it all the time. I love this Bold North Outdoors box because of a few things. I ran into a guy at a boat ramp that was one of the kayakers a few months ago, and he showed me this. It's got a fuse in it, or a breaker in it. It does not have a fuse, and I hate when I blow fuses and I can't find the ones to replace it. It's just a hassle. And this one, literally, it's a 20 amp. When it pops, you just reset it, make sure everything's set up, change your, fix what stupid things you did, and go. I mean, I could talk about this forever. I mean, I can run fish finders off of it. What I did, it came with a 12 volt plug, your standard cigarette lighter plug. I went ahead and switched it out. I had some of these sitting on my dresser at home from some kayak mods that I was doing, and so I swapped it out. It was an easy swap, and so I can put USB plugs on both sides. But you can run fish finders. It has a meter, and this one is good, but I've noticed that when it dies, it'll show 100%, and then it'll show it's dropped down to a quarter, and then sometime between here and here, it goes to 0 and it's dead. And so when you get to about right here on this one, it's time to recharge it, so it doesn't just go to 0. It's a lithium battery. Lithium batteries hold their power all the way until they're totally toast, and then they all of a sudden just go and they're done. So anyway, switches for all your stuff, and it's got this really cool little light. That sucker's bright. We used it to track a deer about a month ago. But like I said, I can talk about that for days. I love these things. They really do save me a whole lot of heartache. And I always keep one in my truck, or keep this one in my truck, and I charge everything on it. So they're really, really handy. And to be honest with you, for the hassle that that happens when you run your batteries dead, my microphone batteries and everything else, it's well worth the investment of getting a good box with a good lithium battery. And and I can't remember how much it cost me. It was like, I'll have to look, and I'll put it down in the description. A few more good things to have with you when you're filming, and I kind of breezed over this one a little bit, but a good clamp. This one's aluminum clamp. It's really, really good. I've actually got a second one in another box at home. I use it to clamp. I'll clamp this to the boom and hook my phone up to it. I always keep a phone holder in my box with me, and I'll hook my phone up to it. I can do my live deals from my phone. I can get those hero shots of me lipping big fish. Of course, not today, but just allows me to be able to clamp to anything. So a good, solid, sturdy clamp is a must. Another cool thing is, and I'm going to try to do this one-handed, this is a little portable. I don't know if you guys do any filming, you know what a slider is. This right here is a little portable slider. And it's really, really nice. I'll hook my phone up to it, or a GoPro up to it, and you turn it on, and it's got one little wheel that turns, and it just slowly gives you those shots that kind of slide left and right, or you can set it up to go in a circle around something. Just nice to have handy, if not in the boat, then at home or whatever, just to get some really cool product shots and good shots of you fishing. Except when it rolls off into the water, so you got to be careful. But I think that's the big stuff. That's the main stuff. I always put all my little stuff in Ziploc bags. The charging cords and stuff, you see how they get all jacked up and they just get messy, and then when you shut the lid to these waterproof boxes, you can literally cut those cords. I always put the cords in these Ziploc bags to keep that from happening. The Osmos Pocket, the little gimbal, has a bunch of little attachments that it comes that you can get in addition to it. a little holder that you can clamp it to or mount it to a tripod, a camera mount. And there's a couple other things that aren't in here, but I love that thing. And I have a little ball mount. I have a bunch of little things that I've collected over the years. But the biggest thing that I always have with me is make sure you have your charging gear with you, so when things go dead, it doesn't ruin a day of filming. Have a good audio. These microphones are great. I have it's been 2.5 years of making mistakes with audio, and hopefully I haven't made any in this video. If there's a little clicking sound, it's because I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's it. That's my filming stuff. But like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water, go out and catch some fish, and have a great day. We'll see you.